Are you sure you want to do this?
Alien Romulus is hands down the... Welcome to The Cellar. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I went last night to the Alien Romulus fan event. I sat down in the super comfortable recliner seats. Now, can I stop right there and say that I saw this film at the Dolby Cinema at my local AMC theater. First time experiencing Dolby Cinema, and I have to say, the seats were amazingly comfortable, and the sound and visual quality was top notch. I highly recommend if you have an opportunity to see something within a Dolby Cinema, well, it's worth every penny. I know a lot of people enjoy the sheer size of IMAX, but after experiencing both over the years, I think my preference at this stage would be Dolby Cinema. Now, let's dive into the movie review. I'm going to try my hardest to keep this as spoiler-free as humanly possible, so if I sound vague at times, it's because I really don't want to give anything away. So let me start off by saying that Alien Romulus is hands down the best film since the original two, Alien and Aliens. This movie fits perfectly in between those first two films in a way that left me overall feeling very satisfied. I absolutely love the world building that director Fede Alvarez does. There's not a lot of time devoted to it, but it's just enough in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film to leave me emotionally connected with our lead protagonist, Rain, played by Kaylee Spaney. Also, David Johnson plays a synthetic named Andy, and I think he absolutely steals the show. I don't want to give a ton away, but seeing his character change based on the events that happen within the film is extremely interesting, and he ends up being one of the best characters to follow, right alongside Rain. Archie Renault plays a character named Tyler, and I think he did a solid job. Nothing that blew me away. The rest of the cast all do a good job. Nothing, like I said, that blows my mind, but they were all good in their own right for what their characters needed to be. As I said, the world building at the beginning of the film is fantastic. I loved getting a glimpse into a Weyland-Yutani mining colony. Seeing how the people there are treated by the big bad corporation that is Weyland-Yutani was something that I could have watched an entire TV series about. Obviously, we all love the Xenomorph, but I feel like there's great potential for a Weyland-Yutani TV series that just focuses on the lives of the people struggling to get by day in and day out within their mining colonies on this, planet in the middle of nowhere. A lot of credit needs to go to director Fede Alvarez for peeling back the curtain and doing it all in a way that makes you really feel for Rain and Andy as characters. It's not long before our cast of characters makes it onto the Romulus space station, and obviously shit goes bad fairly quickly after they get there. The setup and execution of events worked perfectly for me. It was all believable, and once the story got going, I was fully invested and ready for the ride. The practical effects are absolutely top-notch throughout the entire film. I would like to see it again before I nitpick anything, but the fact that Fede Alvarez decided to go with heavy practical effects, it was perfect. The Xenomorph has never looked and moved this good, and credit needs to go to all those that worked on this film. Now, there is one aspect, I guess you can call it that, an aspect of the film that relies heavily on CGI. I really liked what Fede Alvarez was going for, in particular with this aspect, as far as the storyline and stuff like that, but the CGI at times can be distracting and somewhat laughable at best. Does that ruin the film for me? Not at all, but I feel like there could have been a better way to achieve what he was going for. Having this aspect in the movie and driving a large part of the story is not at all something I disliked. I actually loved it. I loved it. But the CGI takes you out of it a bit, especially when all the other visuals are just so top-notch throughout this entire film. There's also an amazing scene within this movie that uses zero-G. I won't give it away, but it was extremely creative, and I loved how the entire scene played out, and I thought it was one of the most creative ideas and set pieces within the entire film. Now, is the movie better than the first two films? My humble opinion would be no. But is it the best film we have gotten since the first two? I can honestly say, resoundingly yes. Now, I am a big fan of David Fincher's Alien 3. I'm actually in the process of putting together a video where I rank the Alien films and give my thoughts, and I have a lot of opinions on Alien 3 and why I actually feel like that film is the perfect ending to Ellen Ripley's overall tragic story. I know that's not a popular opinion amongst fans, but I think it's a miracle that Alien 3 turned out half as well as it did based on all the studio interference, etc. Ultimately, Alien Romulus doesn't necessarily break a ton of new ground. It does a good job of sitting right between Alien and Aliens, while also having callbacks to almost every film within the franchise. You get aspects from Alien, you get aspects from Aliens, you even get some aspects from Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and even Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Now, some of that may not sound good to you, but I think what Fede did within this film to give nods to all those films before was well done. There are some aspects that I did not personally like, including one aspect towards the end of the film that I thought was well done, but it's personally not a story beat I wanted to revisit. It's hard for me to say much else without giving away any spoilers, pretty major spoilers at that, but I thought Alvarez did a good job with it visually, but I'm still a little bit iffy on how I feel about it overall. At the end of the day, Fede Alvarez does a great job of bringing the Alien franchise back to its horror action roots. Even if it feels at times like a greatest hits collection, I enjoyed the movie tremendously from beginning to end. The visuals are great, the blood and gore within is top notch, and there's enough creativity at times to allow you to sit back and say, okay, where is the story going now? Aside from the one heavy use of CGI, I think all of the visuals are phenomenal, and if you're a fan of Alien Isolation, like I am, well, I think you're going to love some of the callbacks and nods to the video game. There were times where I felt like I was watching a movie version of Alien Isolation, and for me, that's a compliment, not a complaint, as I think that that game is an absolute masterpiece. To all my Alien fans, we finally got a competent Alien film. It's not the studio-interfered disaster that was Alien 3, it's not the bafflingly cringy at times Alien Resurrection, and it's not lacking the IQ points like Alien Covenant. I personally enjoyed Prometheus myself, and I think this film actually borrows some positive traits from Prometheus while not veering off course in the process. I'm overall happy to say I recommend you all see this film. So please, let me know in the comment section below, are you excited to see Alien Romulus? Also, once you go out and see the film, I would love for you to come back here, leave a comment so we can start a discussion, and you can tell me what you enjoyed and potentially what you didn't enjoy about the film. On that note, thank you all for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoy my content, please hit the like and subscribe button. Helps the channel continue to grow. Also, if you want to make sure you don't ever miss a new upload, you can turn on the bell notifications after you subscribe. In the description box below, you'll find a link to my merch store, a link to the Cellar Dwellers membership tier for the channel. If you're interested, please take a moment to go check those things out. And if you'd like to submit any kind of scary story or a story recommendation for something that you'd like me to cover on the channel, you can do so using the email linked in the description box below. As always, I do all the research, writing, recording, and editing for the channel myself, so anything that you do to support this channel is greatly appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you all again as we head back into the cellar.